Today, we start working on a sequence of consonants. Rudolf Steiner actually has given when he taught the consonants, and he called this sequence D, F, G, K, H, R, a series which has a calming effect. We will use this sequence not so much therapeutically, but in order to learn how we can touch the richness which is hidden in the sounds, the richness which is behind the sounds. And it's not so much about learning eurythmy, it's more detecting eurythmy. Because that's the point of eurythmy, we consist from eurythmy. It's just the forces which live in us, and by approaching them, touching them, asking questions to them, they like that. They unfold to make us healthier, and they unfold to tell us more about themselves and also, what's behind the human being. And I've prepared a little presentation to bring you the method with which we can work and which allows us to approach the sounds in a way that we do not put our own concepts into it, but we just have ideas how we can experiment. And this system is actually given by Rudolf Steiner. And he is referring, when he gives it, to a person which lived in the 16th century or 17th century. And I will start the presentation for you now. And afterwards, we will do eurythmy, and we will do a lot of eurythmy. And we will work on the D and the F for at least 1 hour. And I hope you will see, it's a never-ending story. We can detect so much. Okay, so just let's look at this person, Jakob Böhme. He was a German mystic, and he had his own mystical experiences. And that led him to a paradigm where he said, in nature we find the paradise. But the human being is not in it, but it's the paradise. And another saying or paradigm of him is, and that's quite something, that he says there's nothing spiritual without physical. And we normally think, if you are spiritually orientated, behind every physical thing or object, there is a spirit where it comes out from. But he says there's no spiritual being which doesn't have a footprint on earth. And if it's just a hair, but something of it, we can find, we can try to touch. And in this, and he calls this, the basic system is as above, as below, and you find it already on Egyptian sarcophags, that you have the Zodiac painted around the human being, and here you find the normal way of how the Zodiac signs are attributed to the physical body, and it's from head to feet in a way. So Aries is showing or attributed to the head realm, Taurus to the neck, Gemini to the shoulder girdle, Cancer to the chest, Leo to the ribs, and so on. And in the end, in the feet you meet Aquarius and in the lower legs, and Pisces in the feet. And there you find many drawings in the Middle Ages which show it, and also doctors, medicines were working with this system. And Rudolf Steiner in 1911 again refers to this principle. In his occult physiology, he's telling us how the system of the 7 planets work in the forces of the organs. And 1 year later, and that's important for us now for this course, he describes again the 12 sections of the human figure, as I have told you before. And then he said, and there are seven-membered, sevenfold human beings hidden in them. Yeah? And this he called the Mysterium Magnum according to Jakob Böhme. Mysterium Magnum means big secret. And then he explains 3 of them, the upper system, the middle system, and the lower system. And the discovery of the others he leaves to us. And I will show you afterwards. Oh, I already drew it here. What he described was that there is the upper system. And I just drew this red bar, which goes from Aries to Libra, from the head to our hips. There's a middle system, which goes from Gemini, our shoulder girdle, to the Sagittarius, to our thighs. And there's a lower system, which goes from Virgo, from our belly, down to the Pisces, to the feet. And one nice thing already here is that you can see that upper system and lower system overlap in Virgo and Libra. And when we ask ourselves, why does this sequence start with this with the D and the F and not with the B and the C, because it's the order of the alphabet if you look at it, and it continues with other sequences going through the whole alphabet. Why did you not bring B and C, Virgo and Libra letters to start with? We can look at this principle. It might tell us something. And then another very important step came in 1918, where Steiner really applied the classical way of attributing the planets to the zodiac signs. And he did it only once, and it's not so much known that he did it. He did it in a lecture called The World Clock. And there he explained how in evolution the different stages of evolution were inspired, were carried by where the sun was, or from the different zodiac signs. And then he said, and they got their force, their power through the planets which live in them, which have their house in them, which rule them. And that's a drawing from from somebody who was in his lecture. So it's painting according to Steiner's painting or drawing, that moon was just giving its power to the evolution in Indian times, in the Cancer times. And he explains how Mercury gave his power to the Gemini time when the Persian culture became great, and that Venus gave its power to the Taurus forces, which were active in the Egyptian times, and that Mars gave its energy to Aries in the Roman times, and that Jupiter is now giving its forces to the Pisces times where we live in. That's where he went through, and that's quite something, because here he really validates it makes sense to work with these connections. And that will enrich our work with Eurythmy a lot. Not by learning it, by detecting a few things, because we can then start playing around. And so I just wrote down again the system which is used and which Steiner just used. And maybe you see that the Cancer, the fourth line from above, there's Cancer. That's where Steiner started. The moon was there. In Gemini, the Mercury was there. We're going upwards. And then in Taurus, Venus, in Aries, Mars. And in Pisces, now we are starting again from below, it's Jupiter. And so you could go on, but now you know he's working with this system. And what you also see here is already that in this system, each planet serves 2 signs. So you have Mercury 2 times. He is working in Gemini with more, airy qualities. And in Virgo, he's really bringing his cleverness and, intelligence at work, and so on. And Venus is working at 2 places, and so on. And then you will notice that each sign works in, each planet works in 2 signs, but they are of opposite, of a contradictory quality. And when you look at this drawing, and you can just download it from our page where all this material you find in this course and this presentation is presented, just go to eurythmyforyou.com, online, choose Eurythmy webinars, and then you find this course, show me the course, and there all the material is collected. And also the replays which are on YouTube, you will find also there. And in this drawing, it's not a linear row anymore, but I try to put opposite signs opposite to each other. Yeah. And then you see, for example, when you look at the left side, where the blue triangle is, that's the Pisces sign. Yeah. And opposite there's Virgo. It's water and earth element, which belongs to them, and they are friendly with each other. Or if you go a little bit higher and you look to the red triangle at the left, then you see the Aries section, the head. Oh, I didn't change the names in the drawing. I have an English drawing. Anastasia was doing it for me just a few days ago. I apologize. On the website, you have the English version. And the yellow sign, that's Libra, and that's an air sign. And so fire and air, they are friendly with each other, they fructify each other. And when you look in which signs is the same planet working, and for example, if you choose, let's say, again, the Aries, the red one at the left side, and then you see that the Mars sign in it, okay, where do you find Mars again? Okay, that's on the right side. It's the Scorpio, and Scorpio is a water sign. So the Mars combines a fire sign with a water sign. And you know, when you water and fire, if you mix it, in the best case, it just makes, zishes, or the water extinguishes the fire, or the fire just the water disappear, makes air from it. But if the Mars really manages to combine, or in Eurythmy, we manage to bring this together, a new quality comes about. Yeah? But that's a cultural deed. The zodiac signs in the opposite form, they just support each other. The one gives birth to the other one. What the planets do, our soul signs, they are interested in bringing opposites together. And when you, for example, look at to the green triangle up there, that's Taurus, where do you find the Venus again? It's at the right side, in the yellow sign, the Libra sign. And then you see, okay, here the Venus combines an earth sign with an air sign. And you see they don't have much to do with each other. But when you look at it, if you build a church and a tower, and you bring this earth element to reach really far up into the air, it can be very impressive. Yeah, and that's a quality. Yeah, when this happens, then it's very touching. And that's what the planets try. They always combine things which do not come together by themselves, but which, if they are brought together, develop something which is very, very special. Yeah. If you can read German, all these things are described in this book. From word to word, space becomes time, you could say. Yeah. You can just buy it from everywhere. And today we will work on the D and the F of this sequence. And the D, is a lion sign. And if you look at the drawing at the right side, you see the right circle. And there's the Leo sign in it. And the T, I just drew the T in it, which also belongs to the Leo. And if you make a flat line under the Leo sign and you turn it a little bit around to the right, you will already have a sort of D, a very artistic way of painting a D perhaps, but the signs, that's what I try to do in the drawings, how the signs are drawn and how the letters are drawn. Sometimes there's a very nice relationship, and you see people who had to look for, when writing came into more general usage, it seems to have been inspired by this knowledge a little bit, which we use in Eurythmy. Yeah. And so let's go back to the Leo, to the D, a fire sound. But it's also an earth sound, because the D is just a very solid sound. Duh. Yeah. And opposite to it, you find Aquarius, and its ruler is Saturnus. Yeah. Very opposite quality to the sun. And when you look to the F, which belongs to the Cancer, you find the blue circle also on top of the drawing, and the Cancer is a water sign. Yeah? And the F and the V both belong to it. The moon brings the energy into the Cancer, and the F is an air sound. So already here you see in the D a fire element and the earth element come together, and in F a water element and an air element come together. So many contradictions, but on the whole, all four elements. And opposite to the Cancer, the blue circle above, you find down there the green line I drew it like this, the Capricorn, the knee, an earth sign, and Saturnus, again the ruler. And last picture, when you look at that, you discover that there is a closed cycles, within our body, that sun and moon, they are in a way, all other planets rule two signs, each of them. And sun and moon, they are in a way one. They rule one, the chest, and the other one, the space of the chest, the lion. And you can just see how the energy flows, just between four signs, with moon, Saturn, and sun, bringing life into this circle. And Saturn, moon, and sun are called the three lights in alchemy. And that's, in a way, how this sequence starts. D and F. Lion, Cancer, Sun and moon, Saturnus. Great. And now I invite you to start. And for those of you who know how I'm working, I just tell you 1 or 2 principles. The one thing is, don't try to copy me. I try to explain what I suggest you could observe, you could try. And you stay with yourself. Eurythmy is the way, the path to yourself. And it's also important staying with yourself, because as soon as you do something and you do not lose yourself in what you are doing because I have to do this or that, but you 30% of your inner observation stay with yourself, then the countercurrents which balance everything take place. If you get lost in a movement, it's no problem, because afterwards you return to yourself and then the countercurrents take place afterwards. They don't have to be at the same time, but to have this cycle of forces, yeah, it only needs stay with yourself. That's what we learn. And stay centered in your heart.